Friends, today we will discuss psychology and psychological tests. Right, like from my adult life, I was always confused that which subject I love more, philosophy or psychology. Philosophy, that is the search of ultimate reality through rational methods. Rational, when we use our mind, our reason, so that is a philosophical method. And philosophy, that is the precursor of psychology. Psychology was developed from philosophy, but now philosophy took its own way. And then in philosophy, we have two important theories, which is empiricism and rationalism. Rationalism tells us that only mind or intellect or reason is sufficient to know reality and to get knowledge. While empiricism, that is more scientific, and that we need data or sense data from outside, and that data come to our mind and then we process it. So that is empiricism, and for that we need experience or experiment or observation, perception. We must perceive things. So that is more scientific, and that is more related to psychology. Now, psychology is the study of mind and behavior. Mind is the function of brain. What brain does, that is called mind. Mind is abstract, while brain is concrete, that is material. In academic circles, we always discuss brain and mind. And some people, like psychology, is from psyche. Psyche is soul or breath or spirit. So in the academic circles, which one is more important, the brain or the mind? So both are important, because if you don't have brain, so then where from the mind will come? So mind is the function of brain. And if you say that your brain must work correctly, so you should have sound brain. Because if you have sound or healthy body, you will have a healthy brain, and then you will have, an excellent mind. So mind is the thinking, the inside, cognition, what is going on inside. But behavior, psychology is the study of mind and behavior. So mind is cognition, that is going on inside. So many people say that what is more important, that is behavior. Behavior is the manifestation, that is the expression of your mind. The technical definition of behavior is that the response to stimulus. Response to stimulus. And stimulus is any change in environment. If there is any change in environment, so what is your response to that change? That is your behavior. For example, there is a fire now, so how will be my behavior? Panic, fear, phobia. How I react to that situation. That is my behavior. So in psychological tests, both your mind and your behavior are tested. Now mind is, it may be id, ego and superego, are conscious, subconscious and unconscious. Your mind, when we are born, so our personalities start development when we have interaction with society, with family, with culture. These are different determinants of personality. So person and human being are two different things. We are born like a man or women, but we are not persons. So when we get, like man is born with tabula rasa. Tabula rasa means a clean slate. There is nothing on our mind. We get things from environment, from our family, school, college, university, or peer groups, the people that we are playing. So our personality is getting development. So there are different determinants of personality, which we will discuss some other time also in detail, because personality development is very, very important. A person who gets his personality development in America or in Pakistan or India or Afghanistan and in different families, so the personalities will be different. There are different approaches. Our genes, genotype, inside our gene collection of genes that we have, the gene pool, that also determines which is the heredity, what we get from our parents and what our parents get from their parents. So the genes, the genetic part of personality, and then the environmentalism, that environment, school, the same classroom, but the performance of the students, that is different. Why? Because of the genes. And then culture. If you are born in a Indian culture or Pakistani culture, Muslim society or non-Muslim society, and then all these kind of factors, it affects your personality. So in the psychological test, your personality is also tested, and then you are asked different questions, and sometimes hundreds of questions are asked in few minutes, because at that time they want to know your mind and your behavior, your reality. Because in the written part of examination, or maybe in the viva or in the interview, you have like you can deceive, you can cheat people. Okay? If maybe you are like a person who is very lazy, and you can say, no, I'm very dynamic, so they don't know. So in psychological test, they know the reality, and at that time they want to know that you are introvert, you are extrovert, or you are ambivert. You like outside, you like only your own self, inside, or you are both. So for me, both is better, because if you are introvert, so you are more spiritual, you are more psychological, you are more philosophical. But if you are extrovert, so you are more like, you are interested in environment and surroundings and people, society, culture, you are participating. As we have two personality types, personality A and B. So personality A people are more dynamic, energetic. They are all the time just, on their heels, all the time running and working and doing things. And personality B, they are more relaxed, silent. They do nothing. Maybe sometime, just spectators. They are not actors. They are not in the arena of the game. They just look, watch. Like for example, in psychology, there is a research that personality A people, they get more heart diseases because they are all the time involved in doing different things. But if you are spiritually and psychologically strong and you enjoy what you do, so there will be no repression, there will be no complex, there will be no phobia or mania or neurosis or psychosis. These are different, psychological terms. So, for example, a neurotic person, nervous all the time, so that stands in his or her own way. That is like defeating, counterproductive, doing things which are not useful for himself or herself. So such kind of people or personalities are tested in the psychological tests. What are your hobbies? For example, they want to know. So if you say reading, so this is a very, kind of cliche, very, very commonplace thing. Reading what? Social sciences, natural sciences, philosophy, theology, comparative study of religions, astronomy, palmistry, anything, metaphysics. So then, oh yes, this person knows what he or she is saying. Hobby like gardening, very, common. Horticulture, floriculture, landscaping. These can be other words for gardening. So, the hobbies that you do, it should be like really not commonplace kind of things. Traveling what? Okay. If you can say that I'm a person who is more interested to explore jungles or forests or deserts or mountains. Mountaineering can be a better hobby than just traveling. Traveling is a very, very vague. There is a lot of ambiguity in that words. So clarify things with creativity. That is very, very important. Never, never against a state, because state is a very, very kind of a very sacred entity. So are against a particular religion. If you are living in a place, so there it is important that you should not be against a particular religion. You may criticize or you may discuss, but you can't be like totally against that religion. So if you say I am a pessimist, bad. And if you say I'm a total optimist, again bad. You can say that I have the horsepower of an optimist, but the brakes of a pessimist. So both balance, and this is called a realist personality, that I understand. Idealist or realist, then again both. Idea, I have ideas and I can do things, but at the same time I'm also like a realist. I live in reality. So not just all the time imagination. You must be a person with a lot of imagination, but at the same time action and contemplation, both. Not just only thinking, also doing. The people who are all the time doing and doing, that is also not good. But all the time thinking and thinking, that is also not good. So in psychology, we study behavior patterns and personality types and traits. Okay, there can be different traits and there can be different personality types. Trait is more scientific as compared to type. For example, we say like some people, they have intuition in their personality, and some people, they are more thinking. Some people are more spiritual and some people are more philosophical. Some people are more, as I discussed, introvert and extrovert. So these are different kinds of personalities. So as I discussed, that person is important. Person, not men or women. We must be gender sensitized. Our culture, environment, heredity, our genes, all these things make our personality. So then in philosophy we discuss ethics. So in psychology you can use that happiness, that we are our own, we are happy, and we also want that other people also, they are happy. I am a person who is more not, we don't have like emotional problems. Some people, why they commit suicide? Because of the cultural pressures, social pressures, their own mind, their own behavior. So they don't know what to do and what not to do. So the only resort, that is suicide, which is a very, very like in psychiatry or psychology, that is extreme stage. Then we have psychometry. Psychometry, those are the psychological tests. So in psychological test, if there are hundreds and hundreds of questions, you just go and write the things, click, don't think over it, because they want to know your reality. But the holistic approach to this whole discussion is that if we are good from inside and we are properly educated, so we will never click, or we will never write, we will never go for a bad option in the multiple choices, or like in numerics or other things. We will always, our reality will be better. But if we are inside like nasty people, and we have complexes and we have phobias psychologically, then their reality will come out. Usually psychological tests and group discussions, these are not like very, very formal. These are not like marks. In a written test or viva, you can get like good marks or bad marks. But in psychological tests, this is not a qualifying thing. They just want to know who you are, what is your reality. So express yourself, but in a positive way. Never say something which is against humanity. Like you can't say that Hitler is my ideal personality. No, because now today in 21st century, we understand what are the universal values, like democracy, human rights, development, prosperity. In the American Constitution, what we have, liberty, equality. So in the personality, all these things are important, that you should believe in universal truths. You can't say, for example, that I want to kill everybody who is white or who is black now. This kind of attitude, then that is not normal. And then you need clinical psychology for that. Organizational psychology, you are part of the organization, so then you like play your own role, your attitudes and your aptitudes, your IQ, intelligence quotient, and emotional intelligence. These things are important. IQ, that is your chronological age, your physical age, and then your age of your mind, your mental age. Maybe a child is precocious. A child may be 10 years old, but intelligently, from intelligence point of view, the age may be 40 years. And there may be a 70-year-old person, but with a mind of child. So that is IQ. But emotional intelligence is tested also in psychological tests. Sympathy, apathy, empathy. All these things are the antipathy. These are discussed in, these are like tested in psychological tests. Are you a person who sympathize with others? Are you antipathy? Antipathy means no feelings. And then empathy. Empathy is to put yourself in the place of another person. That is empathy. Antipathy is hatred. No, you hate. So that is again a bad thing. So these are different things we must understand. Psychology is a very, very interesting subject. It is very important, and we try to develop our own self and then our family members and our friends. Personality development, we must understand, we must become conscious. Consciousness, that is very important. If you are not conscious, then you will be dormant, and when you are dormant, so you will be unable to utilize your mental, spiritual and physical capabilities for your own improvement and for the development of society, state, or the world as a whole. So psychology gives you this perspective to understand your mind, your thinking process, your attitude, your aptitude, your behavior, you inside, and then the same person when goes and interact with others. So in that point of view, that interaction, your attitude, you may find different people with different attitudes, behavior. That is very important, that you must understand the personality of a person when that person is alone or in the same person is in a group. So sometimes, you can't speak, you can't express yourself. Communication, you can't communicate. So that is again a problem. So academically, as well as, for example, in competitive exams, you must focus that your personality must be presented, that you are a normal person, you are a useful person for society. Otherwise, in competitive exams, you will have problems. So we will remain in touch. Please ask questions about psychology and about psychological tests and whatever is related to psychology. Psychology is a very, very interesting subject. Love it, enjoy it, and you will have, a lot of benefits from this very, very inspiring subject. Thank you very much.